So now what did I get myself into? So what is it? Well, it's a subsoiler or a ripper. Depends on what you're used to calling it. I call it a ripper. And the reason I have this thing is because I'm going to be ripping some roots out of some area where we've had a lot of mesquite growth and so forth. And we've been killing that mesquite out for years now. And now it's time to go in there and start ripping out some of the roots. That way I can turn that land. I can chisel that property. I can get in there and disc it and get it cleaned up. But I need this to do it. I need to bust up some roots. That's what I'm getting ready to do with this. It doesn't look too pretty though, does it? I'm gonna take you around it. I'll let you kind of get you a quick look at it. Some people might have thrown this away. Not me. For some reason I have a tendency to grab junk and try to make something good out of it. Stick with me as I do this. So I see a lot of potential in a lot of older equipment sometimes. Yes, I bought a brand new tractor. There's some of you probably going, why didn't you buy an old tractor? Because I didn't want to have to rebuild the thing. In some cases. I've had old tractors, guys. It was time for something different, okay? So some of you are probably looking at this going, why in the world would you buy that thing? Or why did you pull that out of the back field and try to use that? Well, I always see potential in this old equipment sometimes. It's just steel and there's no moving parts on this thing other than the tire here, which is actually has a bad bearing in it. And I'm probably gonna have to do some work on that. But that's it. And the reason I bought such a big one is because I'm gonna turn this into a smaller one because it's hard to find smaller ones with gauge wheels on them. And this one has the gauge wheels. This is a 5 shank ripper. There is no way I'm pulling this with a 73 horsepower. Just there's not. You're not going to drop this thing in the ground and pull it at all. I could probably pull 1, 2, if I got lucky 3, but I doubt it, shanks. Probably just 1 shank at a time for right now, and then I'm going to try to pull it with 2 shanks. But at the same time, where the property I'm using it, this is not sandy land out here. I have the black clay loam type land with a lot of flint rock in it, and then now I have mesquite roots as well, and I've got to pull through that. So probably 1 shank to start with, but I need the gauge wheels because once it grabs a root, it'll try to suck that thing into the ground, and that's what I don't want to happen. Okay, I'm going to be working on this thing. I'm going to bring you along as I do this. This is going to take several days to do. This is not a one-day project, but I want to make it work, and I think I can. So look, some of the first things that I do, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I like to get, I actually shoot some transmission type fluids in here. And the reason I use transmission fluids is it seems to, for some reason for me, it seems to soak into the threads really well. And so when things get kind of froze up, I get that transmission fluid and just kind of soak everything down, and it sticks with it. I think it works better than penetrating oils, but that's a personal opinion, okay? Try it out and see if it works for you if you want to, but I use a little bit of transmission fluid. So I'm going to go around here and I'm going to start loosening up some of the parts that are stuck, and get some of these bolts loosened up on this thing. I'm going to move these gauge wheels, kind of like I did with that 13 shank chisel plow. We're going to move this thing around a little bit. We're going to make it work. I got to be careful here because I don't want these wheels to get into the wheels on the tractor. I got to make sure all the 3-point hitch works and everything else. Before you start a project like this, you want to look at your measurements on everything you have. You want to bring the tractor over if you're doing what I'm doing here, and you want to hook it up to it, and you want to see what will work and what will not. There are a lot of bad welds in here that I'm going to have to fix too, but we're going to get it done. So what is a subsoiler used for? Well, a lot of times they'll use them to help get your water deeper into the ground. When it rains, that water has a tendency to run into the grooves that the subsoiler leaves and gets that water deeper into the ground. Rippers, just like it says, it rips the ground open, or it rips the ground, compacted soils and so forth. Usually I've never used a subsoiler until this is my first one, and like I said, my whole point for this whole thing is to help get a pasture renovated. There are small pastures, but at least I'm trying to get the mesquites out of them. This is the whole point for me, and we're going to show you what that looks like after we get done with it and the process of doing it. It's going to take a little while to put all this together. So day 2. So where am I at on this thing and what am I doing? Well, before we go any further with tearing this thing apart, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the middle shank off, the 2 outside shanks off, and I'm going to leave 2 shanks on it. Then I'm going to hook it to the tractor, and I want to go out and play with it a little bit to see how it works before I do any more cutting or any more taking stuff off. I got all the junk off of it. There was a lot of junk on this thing that was added to it over the years. I've gotten a lot of that off of here, and it's a whole lot better than it was. And we're going to continue working on it and get it fixed up. So let me get started on that, and we'll take you guys along a little bit on that and let you see what I'm doing. All right, I got one out. They don't just come out either. This stuff is rusted up in there pretty good. Takes a lot of effort to get them out sometimes. But that's two of them out. Both ends are out. I'm gonna take the center one out, and then we're gonna hook it up to the tractor. What do you think? All right, this big old hoss, we're down to 2 shanks. And that's what it's actually resting on, is these 2 shanks plus a third member there. That's keeping it from falling over. But we're gonna go ahead and hook it up. And we're gonna try to drag this and see what happens. I'm not gonna go super deep.
I guess it is maybe locked in.
So we're gonna have to go down with that one over there. That side needs to go down. All right, it's on the back of the tractor, and we're ready to go out to the field. But unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait till the next video, which we will have out right away. So until next time, thanks.